What do we see on the environment? We see President Obama propose a green jobs program. $2.3 billion, which he says is going to produce 17,000 jobs. Now, your math may not be fast like mine, but let me tell you, that's $135,000 per job. It sounds a little bit like our $780 billion stimulus package that passed last year. What do you think? It supposedly saved 1 million jobs at what? $230,000 per job. I'd love to have one of those jobs. How about you? Whew. And here we are talking about green energy. And let me tell you, as the liberals try to change our habits, and they say they want to drive up the price of oil and gas so that we will reduce our dependence on it, and I'm here to tell you that that is a reduction in our freedom. It reduces our choices. It absolutely is contrary to everything that you believe in and that I believe in. And just this past week, the Interior Secretary has closed down, or within the last month, closed down drilling on federal, for oil and gas on federal lands. What do you think of that? We are at a crossroads in this nation. We're at a crossroads in which we as a nation are going to have to decide whether the answer to every problem is going to be more money and higher taxes, and whether the government has the ability to spend us out of absolutely every crisis. I reject that, and I know that you do too. And what I want to tell you is that this fall, we've got work to do right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. What's going on in Massachusetts is very exciting. I would love to see the good guys win that race. But the really important fight, the fight that you're fighting and the fight that I'm fighting, is fought right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. This fall, we have 11 congressional seats that are up. Next fall, we have 140 seats in the General Assembly that are up. And it is your job and mine to get out in the trenches, to talk to our friends, to talk to our neighbors, talk to our families, and make sure that they focus on doing the right thing so that we can turn the course of this nation, so that we can preserve and advance the realm of economic and individual liberty in the course of the nation. And I want to give you something, a little bit of a charge as we walk out of here. As we go forth and work on these campaigns and try to make sure that the right thing happens, we will hear many of these same slogans that we've heard in the past. We'll hear candidates stand up and say, I'm for individual liberty, for personal responsibility. I am for limited government. I'm for faith and family values. Now, those are platitudes that are nice to hear, but it's more than just that. President Obama said each and every one of those things. And we know that he did not mean what we mean when we say stand up for individual liberty. So I want to give you a little bit of a voter guide. You know these things and I know these things, but these are the things that you've got to go back home and talk to your friends and your family about. When a candidate says, I stand for individual liberty, I want you to go up to that candidate in a forum and stand up and say, well, will you oppose all efforts to restrict my right to bear arms? Are you going to stand up for my Second Amendment right? Are you going to support free enterprise? Are you going to allow the market to set wages? Those are the questions that we've got to be asking. When they talk about personal responsibility, we have to ask them, are they going to oppose efforts to roll back welfare reform? We have to ask these hard questions in order to make sure that we get the candidates who are going to stand up for the principles we believe in. Limited government. When a candidate says, I believe in limited government, are you going to stand up with the Americans for Prosperity and with the Farm Bureau and other property rights organizations and vote for a constitutional amendment to prohibit abusive uses of eminent domain? I want to know also whether these candidates know what April 30th is. April 30th is Tax Freedom Day. That's the day we stop working for the government and start working to support our families. I want to know whether these candidates are going to fight all efforts to raise taxes in Virginia and in America. I want to know whether they are going to stand up for you and for me, and whether they understand that giving money and power to the government is like giving whiskey and car keys to teenage boys. And let me tell you, I know something about that. I have a teenage boy, and I try to keep both out of his hands. And on faith and family values, when they say, I stand up for faith and family values, I want you to go out and ask them whether they're going to fight efforts to subvert the First Amendment, whether they're going to stand up against efforts to drive all references to faith and God out of the public square. And I want to know whether these candidates are going to stand up for the sanctity of innocent human life. I want to tell you, each of us shares those views, and our job is to go out and make sure that these ideas prevail. Not that it's an R or a D, but that we make sure that people who are going to be guardians of our freedom are the people who are going to be running for office, the people who are going to be elected, the people who are going to serve in Washington, the people who are going to come to Richmond and serve alongside us, people who are going to fight with Ben Markey, going to fight for individual liberty, personal freedom, for personal responsibility, for faith and family. I'm with you. God bless you. Thanks for all that you do.